In the late afternoon, the forest changes its tone of voice. I hear whispers on the wind. It's like being in an old empty house when you hear footsteps on the staircase. Who comes here? The woodlands darken and I hear the crackle of footsteps on the forest path. According to the Native American legend, when Sky Woman fell to the earth in the far country, which was all water, the animals, including muskrats, gathered dirt, which they placed on the back of a turtle, and this dirt became known as Turtle Island, and that's how North America was born. I have followed the Ojibwe who traveled along canoe routes, trading furs. The forest echoes with the whispers of their ancestors and my ancestors as well. I was thinking about this on a day when I was alone in the boat and remembering those that went before me. This is the final resting place of my parents and several of our dogs. Their ashes took flight on the pine-scented wind, and they speak to me when the breeze picks up. I was thinking about the books that I have read in this cabin, the books that nurtured me, and the fact that years ago I read by the light of a Coleman lantern. The past is a footstep behind us, and the future is a footstep in front of us. And here we find the world of books. That's correct. For 50 years I've been up here collecting books as part of my many travels. And I thought as a special treat this year I'd show you some recent acquisitions, one of which I've read. And I wanted to just show you a few of them as part of a Northwoods book haul, which happens constantly up here. It's a regular part of my routine. All right, first off is I Hear a New World by Alan Moore. This just came out, and I'll have a little scan of the cover. This is the second in his long London series, which I really enjoyed the first one. I'm going to be doing a Alan Moore episode in the fall when I get back to the other location, and that will include the comic books and everything I have, with a focus on his very long novel, Jerusalem, which I consider to be a literary masterpiece. Great book. So I've not read this yet. I just received it up here. So this is part of the Alan Moore collection, Long London. Love Alan Moore. I'm a huge Alan Moore fan, so I'll be showing you some things. I don't know if you can hear the loons out there or the chainsaw over there, so hopefully that won't interfere with the episode. The weather changed here. We have a little bit of a storm coming in, so I thought I'd better get this done quick before I have to hunker down and see what's what. We've had a really interesting June was interesting. Okay, so we had a friend come. My friend Seth came and he grilled some steaks over here at the garage, and of course that night the bear had to come down the driveway to the cabin because it smelled the steaks. You have to be careful what you're doing up here in the beautiful Northwoods of the Midwest. All right, number 2, Secret Agent X versus Dr. Death by Will Murray. I am a Will Murray fan. I have talked about him in other episodes, and I just received this as well. I'm going to be reading this very soon, and I'm excited about this because I think Will Murray is one of the greats. Really, everything he does is highly entertaining. The artist on the cover for this is Colton Worley. Did the cover. A really superb cover on here by Colton Worley for Secret Agent X versus Dr. Death. 2 public domain pulp fiction characters that Will Murray has put his exciting stamp on his interpretation with 2 of them in here. This has had great reviews so far from members of the pulp fiction fan community, which I'm glad to see that, and they usually do for Will Murray. Fantastic to have this up here. Really looking forward to that. All right, so the third one is a book I read when I received it in early June, Elegy in Blue by Mark Halperin. I am a Mark Halperin fan and collector, one of the great American contemporary authors out there. I've read and have everything he's ever published. A Winter's Tale is probably the best known, which is a classic. I enjoyed A Soldier of the Great War, which I consider one of the great American novels. Memoir from Ant-Proof Case. His short stories like The Pacific and Other Stories. Recent books, In Sunlight and in Shadow, I thought was superb. And Paris in the Present Tense was also superb. Then he did The Oceans and the Stars prior to this, which I haven't covered on this channel, but was really good. So I've read this. I like it. I put it in my middle range for my preferences for Halprin. Well worth your time if you're interested in contemporary American novelist. Mark Halprin is at the top of his game. Very interesting book. I'm not really going to review it here. Just highly recommend it because of the 4 books I'm recommending, or I'm showing you for the book haul, I've read this and I recommend it. Great stuff. All right, so finally, interesting book. I had a conversation with someone recently about Richard Chamberlain, the great actor Richard Chamberlain, who used to be a staple in the conventions. You talked to him briefly. He was a very kind-hearted, highly intelligent man. I really liked him. He did during the 80s a series of mini-series for television that were highly regarded and still are. One of them was Colleen McCullough's The Thornbirds. Well, I've never read The Thornbirds, which is Australia's #1 best-selling novel of all time. Colleen McCullough is gone now. I am going to be reading this very soon. I glanced through basically I read the first 50 pages and I loved it. So I think I'm going to like this. Of course, it's the format that is no longer with us, which is the what we used to call the pocket paperback format. It was discounted on a major internet bookseller. It sells for $10.99 on the back, and I bought it for $7 something. So I'm really excited to read this. It looks to be a really great book. It's going to be a long one. I'm okay with that if they're really well written and keep me interested. So this book takes the history, for those of you unfamiliar with the story, from 1915 to 1969 of a family history. A bit of a love tale in there, and I'm really excited to be reading this because I think this is going to be a good one. If I like it, I'll read more of Colleen McCullough. I know I have viewers out there that have read this. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on it. Is it worth it? In the first 50 pages I read, this is going to be a great read. I mean, really fantastic. So I plan on reading more of her to get caught up. This is obviously her best-selling novel. Glad to have it. Really glad to have this. So that brings us up to date with a 4-book book haul, one of which I've read, which was Mark Halprin's Elegy in Blue, one of his great novels. I should probably tell you a little bit about the plot since I'm recommending it. High in his subsidized studio apartment, the unnamed 82-year-old narrator of Elegy in Blue looks out across the rooftops of Brooklyn all the way to the sea. His distinguished career on Wall Street is in ruins. His mansion in Brooklyn Heights has been burned to the ground, and most of all, his father, his son, and his wife, the stunningly beautiful and equally kind Claire, have been taken from him one by one over the decades by war and by an act of anti-Semitic violence. Right away, this is typical Halprin, really complicated and dramatic plot. He is an expert at that. To conclude the blurb, now, his allegiance to his ghosts. He's almost lost to memory. The ghost he's almost lost to memory. Reflection in a purposeful life. He's almost lost to memory, reflection, and a purposeful letting go of life. I finally read that sentence correctly. But when violence threatens to destroy another family, he takes drastic action in hope of restoring a portion of justice to the world. Does that sound relevant to what we have in the United States today? There's very little justice. Can he fashion his life into an elegy, one that heals a broken heart and relieves the sting of death? Really heavy stuff. I really enjoyed it. The second half of the book, by the way, really took off for me. I thought the first half kind of meandered a bit. And then, of course, the publisher says, told in an exceptional literary voice, mixing comedy and tragedy, Elegy in Blue is a hymn to New York, memory, loyalty, and love. Mark Halprin is quite familiar with New York, and he has set numerous stories and books there. I love Mark Halperin's literary career. So this, I've read of the 4. I loved it. Not my favorite of his books. My favorite is A Soldier of the Great War, and then A Winter's Tale. But I like everything he's done. Highly recommended for you readers who are looking for something different that's a contemporary living author. Mark Halperin right here. All right, so the Thornbirds, got to have some pulp, right? Secret Agent X versus Dr. Death by the great, fantastic, incredible Will Murray. Thank you, Will Murray, for doing another one. He has so many great pulp novels out there. New pulp. What they call new pulp are modern writers writing with the flavor and style of classic pulp fiction. And then I Hear a New World by the great Alan Moore, who is a literary genius. I will be talking about him, as I mentioned, in a full episode in the fall, and we'll be focusing on all of the comic books, but the collections, because I have most of his American comic books. I'll talk about the collections, then I'll talk about Jerusalem, which is, I think, an incredible literary work. And I will give you examples of that. I'll read some excerpts from that. That is planned for the fall, but first I have to read this. So that's it for today's little update for July. I hope that whatever that is humming in the background, maybe they have a blower and they're blowing leaves out of their yard. I hope that doesn't become a predominant sound here. Anyways, thank you for checking in to this episode where I'm talking about the 50 years being up here, reading books. We started when this cabin was a little thing. I would read by Coleman Lantern, and finally they got the electrical fixed, and we now are good to go. But fishing has calmed down a bit, usually does in July. It's really humid here today. It's going to rain soon, and of course, with the number of people on the lake, July is the busiest month up here, July into August, for the lakes in northern Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota. 3 of the greatest states in the Union. My friends, thank you for watching. I do hope that you're all well. Thank you so very much for those of you that watch these episodes and tell me that you're getting something out of it. It does encourage me to do better, which I've been trying to do for a number of years. Maybe I'm getting there. And in the meantime, you know what I'm going to say next. Please stay well, stay happy, feed your minds, read a book.